In today's video, I'm going to save you a whole load of money. Why? Because I'm going to run through the most common issue that I see every single day on the lesson tee when players are struggling with either their backswing or as a result of getting this position wrong, their downswing. Now, firstly, what is it that I see players get wrong? Players do not get enough depth at the top of the backswing. So the first thing that we have to do is define what depth is. Depth is, as we swing back, we are going to put our focus on the butt end of the grip. Depth is, where is this butt end of the grip relative to two things? Number one, the golf ball, and number two, the trail foot. We use the trail foot as a great guide. So players who have a good amount of depth will see roughly that the butt end of the grip will be somewhere around the front of the ankle to the heel line. Players with too much depth will go too far behind them this way, but today's lesson and today's focus is by far the most common one, players with not enough depth. Now, not enough depth will look like the butt end of the grip is too far in front of them. We're going to go through in today's video exactly the reasons as to why this happens and how you can fix them. Now, why is depth important at the top of the backswing? Well, depth allows us to make sure the club is in a good position to where then we can unwind fully on the way down and know that club is going to travel down on a great plane. Like I was saying, when you don't have enough depth, the club rises too high. So now there's a lot of space between the hands and the plane line, an excessive amount. So you then have to make some sort of compensatory motion if you were trying to get it back onto the plane line. However, if you had more depth and you were able to turn to the top and you got into that good position, then the arms have to drop less to get back onto the plane line. And ultimately from there, you're going to see the club will want to work a little bit more effortlessly down on that good position. So then from there, you've got a lot more control over your swing direction, your club path, your low point, and overall your swing. So it's really important we have that good depth as it simplifies down that downswing motion. Things then become a lot less reactionary, and ultimately from there, your ball striking massively improves. So the first reason as to why players struggle to generate any depth is due to a lack of rotation in the backswing. Now, rotation is directly correlated to depth. The more you turn, the more depth you are going to generate. A great example is look at Brooks Koepka versus Rory McIlroy. Brooks doesn't turn as much as Rory in the backswing, so as a result, look at the top of his backswing, he doesn't have as much depth as Rory. Rory obviously turns a lot more than Brooks. He then gets more depth at the top of his backswing. Now, what are the two most common issues that I see in terms of why players can't achieve this good rotation? Number one is the trail hip works laterally away from the target in the backswing. As soon as we start to work the trail hip laterally, you are going to see a lack of rotation. You might also see a little bit of a reverse pivot. That reverse pivot is going to push your hands upwards, and from this position, also a lack of rotation is going to get you in a position where butt end of the grip is more over the toes. There's your lack of depth. The second one is, again, you don't get enough rotation. What's the biggest reason for this? People freezing their legs. We don't want to freeze the legs and just go to the top, because eventually at some point we're going to max out our shoulder turn. If our hips don't turn anymore, then the only option we have to finish the backswing is to allow the arms to work upwards. When we do that, we lose the depth. Ultimately from there, we get into a poor top of the backswing position. So if that's not what we want to do, what are we looking to achieve? Well, we want to be seeing that if I drew a line down my trail hip at address, as I turn back, that we can see about a golf ball worth of space created. Now, the reason why we see this space created is due to the shape of the pelvis. Roughly, it's the shape of like an oval. So if you imagine you turn an oval, that trail part of the oval is going to arc back and around. And that's the same thing with the golf swing. As we turn, we will see this trail hip work back and around, and about a golf ball worth of space be created. Again, if I do it from this down the line view, you will see, turn it back and around, about a golf ball worth of space is created, but you can see that trail hip has worked back and around into that deeper position. Now, by freeing up the hips, we are going to see the shoulders have a lot more freedom. And as we now know, the more we can turn, the more depth we can generate. So as I start to do that, I can go turn, turn, turn. Hands are naturally working deeper. Ultimately from there, that means they are going to want to work back on a better plane and get you into a much better position. So how are we going to fix this? Well, let's go through a step-by-step guide that's going to massively help you learn how to rotate correctly. So what I want you to do is grab the club like so. Then from there, stand shoulder width apart, bring the club up here, and you're just going to stand straight up and down. Now, all you're going to do is just turn the same way you would in your backswing. For me as a right-handed golfer, that is to my right, and you're going to look behind you. So I'm going to look towards the screen. So as I do this, I'm just going to do this a couple of times, just back and forth. You can firstly see it's really easy to turn, right? So I hear a lot lot of people go, I'm not flexible enough. No, most people are flexible enough to at least achieve a decent turn to where you can generate a decent amount of depth. You just have to understand how to turn your body correctly. So if you can turn to 90 degrees here, you're absolutely fine. You're gonna get a lot of rotation. So just let your body stay super relaxed, turn and try and look behind you. Now, as you do that, pay attention to how your trail hip is working. You will notice that it is working on this arc that we discussed. So it's working back and around. If I do it from this angle, you can see it's working back and around and moving very freely. Now, I want you to take that same feeling that we've just found right there, grab the club and then get into your golf posture. Again, your sensation now is I'm going to turn that trail hip back and around whilst maintaining a little bit of tilt to my shoulders. Now, as I do that, you can see my knees are naturally starting to change flex. When they change flex, that allows the hips to stay very passive, and ultimately from there, we can start to get that nice, good hip turn, results in better shoulder turn, better depth at the top of the backswing. So here, trail hip back and around, keep a little bit of tilt to the shoulders. If I do it from this angle, I'm going to go trail hip back and around, a little bit of tilt to the shoulders, knees have changed flex, exactly what I want to see. So that's step 2. Step 3 is then taking it one step further, club on the ground, and then from there, same feeling, trail hip back and around, create that golf ball worth the space. And as you can see there, my hands are naturally then going to get into that good top of the backswing position right there. If I do that a couple of times, back and around, and one more, back and around, you can see very free movement, good depth at the top. If I do that again, as you can see from here, good movement right there, back and around, I've created that golf ball worth of space, good shoulder turn, good depth at the top. Once you've then done that, then you can start to progress into hitting shots. And I would recommend having something just outside your trail hip, like an alignment stick or anything like that, that can just give you a little bit of feedback. From there, progress into hitting some shots. You're going to notice that the club is going to work a lot deeper around your body. You're going to be in a much better position at the top of the backswing. And then from there, you can start to really just rip your body through on the downswing, and things are going to be a lot more automatic. Let me give it a go for you right here. Turning that trail hip back and around, good depth at the top. Let's hit a shot for you right here. Now, the second drill that I'm going to go through is going to be one that is going to massively help you learn how to control the left arm relative to the chest. So now that we have got you rotating correctly, we've got to make sure that actually, even once you do rotate, that the arms don't want to drift like they used to have to in order to finish your swing. So this one is a golden one. You can use a glove or a head cover, pop it under the left arm, and you could do some swings as that's going to force the left arm to stay connected to your chest. So let me give you a demonstration of what that looks like. I've got a head cover here. I'm just going to pop it underneath my left arm. And the aim of this drill is to make a backswing and keep that head cover under the left arm in the backswing. You'll feel that real connection between your lead arm and the chest. If it drops out, you know you've raised your arms a little bit too high. Again, sometimes a head cover can be a little bit too much. You might want to do it with a glove. Either option is absolutely fine. Just pop it under there. And the main key is to keep it under there in the backswing. Now, one key with this drill is don't try and keep it under there in the follow through. We can let that head cover drop in the follow through. We are only focusing on the backswing. So let me give it a go for you right here. I'm going to try and do a swing where I keep this head cover under my left arm in the backswing to make sure that then I can have that left arm connected to my body. So as you can see, definitely kept it under there in the backswing. Golf ball didn't get picked up on the monitor, absolutely fine, but you can see, kept it under there in the backswing. My arms moved a lot deeper, ultimately got me into a much better position. So this is a classic drill that's going to help you connect that left arm to your chest a lot more, and ultimately from there, you're going to hit a lot better shots. So give these a go. If you are that player who at the top of the backswing sees that they are in that position where they don't have a lot of depth, you need to fix that because it is going to hurt your swing. The number one way that we've got to do is make sure you're pivoting correctly. If you see anything in terms of hip sway, or you see anything where you're freezing that lower body and not achieving a full turn, you have to fix that first. After that, if it's the left arm drifting away from the body, use something like the head cover drill or the golf glove drill underneath the lead arm, and that will massively help you keep it connected to your body throughout the whole backswing. If you have any questions about today, please ask away. If you're interested in some one-to-one coaching, then have a look at the Skillist app. I offer a lot of one-to-one coaching on there. The link is down below, so click on that and shoot me a message if you are interested. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you back here soon.